Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? I figured I would test out the new season of Chain Battle Mode before work this morning. Of course, this is the Super Saiyan God Goku as the boss this time. Looks like the advantageous categories this time around will be the rapid growth from the new category lead of Transforming Kefla, as well as Universe Survival Saga and Universe 6. So this is pretty much, just kind of going into it a little bit blindly and testing out, some of the units that might be able to apply some damage. So I've started out here with LR, Kel, and Caulifla, but I ended up switching things around a little bit just to, see how the damage capacities are based on different types of units. The one thing I did notice is a lot of friends and guests, the setups is for Extreme. It looks like a lot of them have the perfect cell or any variation of cell units, even though, again, the categories that are advantageous are Rapid Growth, Universe 6, and Universe Survival Saga. I've heard those cell units and a team built around that does equally as good, just fine. So just FYI, I haven't tested it myself, but I've heard it does work out pretty decently. So yeah, I mean, 92 million in damage is certainly not a bad output. Just a matter of where this places me in terms of the percentile base, but we'll find out here in a second. Again, by hitting all the milestones of certain millions in damage, you do get rewards based on that. I think the cap is 1 billion. So looks like at this point 92 million will lead me at the 11 to 20% or right at 12% range. So of course we have to try and apply a little bit more in damage in order to get to that one percentile range. Again, the super type supporting and connectors are pretty straightforward in my opinion. I think you just want to go with, any variation of Kale and Caulifla and then possibly some other units if you don't have the amount of units needed for it. And again, like I said, based on all the trends, you did notice some Universe Survival Saga setups here, which I'm going to try out here. And of course, you have the connectors that are needed in order to, basically get things set up with the main attacking battle card per se. So again, it's just more or less day one. We're just kind of testing around and see how everyone does in terms of damage output against Super Saiyan God Goku. Again, I haven't tested the cell variations myself, so if you have and applied some decent damage, certainly let me know and leave some info in the comments, and I'm sure other people would find it very useful to get a heads up on that. So I guess we're going back to LR, Kel, and Caulifla here as well. I think in the next one I ended up just switching just to test out some different variations. I did put in the free, a variation of a free-to-play version of a unit to be the attacking card as well, just to see from a free-to-play standpoint how much in potential damage they could end up doing. So again, by sending the nice icons to your friends or guests, I guess for guests you can't do that, but at least for friends, by doing that you do also get 20 of the gems as well. So not much, but over time it does add up, especially given the fact that you can do it pretty frequently, and also the fact that, over the 7 days, it does accumulate to quite a bit of an amount. Of course, the treasure box summons are, pretty nice because of, a bunch of potentials in terms of getting level 5 skill orbs, and, we all know how much of a luxury item that can be at some time, so... Yeah, I think in this case I ended up switching, just kind of looking at what supporters I ended up wanting to use. I was like, should I go ahead and use the free-to-play Caulifla that just Dokkan Awakened, or should I go with another option like the old school, not old school, but the physical type Kefla? So this is what I ended up doing here. I figured, with this one, there's some additional links where, you have like Fierce Battle and stuff like that. Maybe it'll be it'll increase the number of links between some of the units in the supporting role or connectors. So, I ended up choosing this one. Again, the amount of links shared as well as categories is pretty important in terms of, the calculation, I guess, in terms of like how much in damage you end up applying. So, again, I'm not really that knowledgeable when it comes to the, mathematical calculations or how this is built out in a model to, script essentially the output of damage against the enemy. So I'm sure as more time goes on, we'll be able to find out basically the methodology as to how things are being calculated. So managed to get 116 million on this one, and looks like this will end up placing us back to the 1%. So again, in day one, 116 million is probably good enough, but given the fact that it's only day one out of a total of 7 days, the 116 million will certainly become obsolete in terms of like placement in the top 1%. So I would imagine probably by the last day of the week, or the 7th day of this event being available, I would imagine anywhere from like 120 to 125 would be like the minimum, maybe, to get to the or maintain the top 1% status. So that's just my guess at this point. I don't really know. I just based it off of how it was last time against Broly. I remember, I had similar amounts. I think I had like 116,000 or 116 million, I think, last time as well. And then, pretty much stayed at 1% for the course of the majority of it. And then like the very last day, because I didn't bother doing it for a few days, because I figured, I would be kept at 1%. Last day I ended up being like dropping to like the 2 to 3% range or whatever, because of the increase in damage based on the amount of players that were continuing to play it. So again, this is day one, so the placement of top 1% will likely change. Just a matter of how much that's needed. My guess, probably anywhere from 120 to 125 is probably what the requirement would be to maintain staying in the 1%. That's just my guess, so we'll leave it at that. Okay, so this one, I think, so this one I ended up choosing the free-to-play intelligence Kale unit, which did recently get a Dokkan Awaken, actually this morning, so I had the medals for it already available, so I ended up just Dokkan Awakening it right away, and I'll definitely be doing a showcase at some point as well for that unit. So I can't remember what I ended up doing. I guess at this point I went back to the physical type Kefla unit just to see if we can get a little bit higher than the 116 million at this point. Really not sure how this goes, but we'll take a look and see what happens here. Yeah, I'm actually quite curious as to the stealth setup. Again, like using an extreme type unit as the main attacking source, and seeing what kind of damage output you're able to produce off of that. Again, I haven't tested it myself, so I can't say for sure how much, what kind of levels you're talking about, but the fact that a lot of people are leaving it as their friend or guest setup, I would imagine it's pretty decently effective. So we'll leave it at that. If you guys have any other additional insight on that, let me know. I think in one of the ones earlier, like the second battle, I forgot to get the gauge to fill up all the way, so definitely make sure to do that. This was like, shortly after I woke up. I wasn't the most wired, I was still catching up on a couple of cups of coffee, trying to wake up, stuff like that. So again, probably not the best of runs, but it is day one, so just kind of wanted to see how things were. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and use some of the treasure box items or gems available to summon on, and looks like at this point 141 is one of the highest amounts I see at that point. So that's probably toward the top placement. But this is pretty nice because they do have level 5 skill orbs, especially for additionals and criticals. That could certainly be pretty effective. The silver variations and bronze also should have that as well. So it's a good way to definitely improve your units based on what you're focusing on. But we'll go ahead and do 10 at a time. Not just to not waste a lot of time here. Just do it in bulk at one time. So looks like not really that great on that one. A bunch of level 2s it looks like. It'd be nice to get a level 5 here. Yeah, I mean, level 4 additional attack for tech, that's not bad. I'm not sure who I would necessarily give that to, but I think it's certainly I'm certainly grateful, I guess I'll put it to you that way. It's nice to have that option. Alright, let's see. So yeah, level 5 silver for agility with crits, so definitely pretty nice. Alright, so this is the very first run on the explosive chain battle mode on, I guess we can call it season 2. So hopefully you guys found this helpful and enjoy the content. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.